The story begins when the sky emitted tons of golden lightning at the same time, and it struck down Linhai City at the Dragon Kingdom. Countless monsters wormed their way into reality from the other world, causing humanity to face the biggest calamity that it has ever seen. Thankfully, the heavens never abandon humanity. A mysterious mark suddenly appeared on the back of every human's hand, and through it, they awoke a variety of unique occupations. From then on, the era of changing occupations to become hunters was kick-started for humanity. Amongst the many who became awakened, there were only 3 people with mythic ranked classes, one of which is from the United States of America, a Ghostblade user named Alphard. From Russia, there's a Hell Dragon rider named Rastif, and lastly, the Frost Nation Frost Mage King, Quadrillion. As the mythic ranked occupations far outclassed the rest, it led to the Lighthouse Kingdom, Russian, and the Frost Nation to overtake all other countries in their rate of progress on conquering other countries. 100 years ago, a prodigy like them had once appeared in the Dragon Kingdom as well. Dragon Kingdom's top expert is named Asura. Within a mere 10 years, he created the highest record ever found in China, and became the first one to make it through the 70th world. However, when the strongest 9th rank monster wave invaded Earth, Asura, who has changed classes 8 times, died defending against the rift. He sacrificed himself to protect the kingdom. It was the 100th anniversary of Xu Luo's death as a hero. During the memorial ceremony launched in the capital city the day before yesterday, all the Dragon Kingdom's top hunters appeared to attend the ceremony. And at the same time, statistics showed that the kingdom had 12,350,000 awakeners for that year, which is 11.3% more than last year, and the highest record since the Otherworld had first descended upon Earth 10 years ago. 10% of awakeners are currently made up of core hunters, which has greatly surpassed the number of awakeners that had been awakened during Asura's birth year. Because of that, they were hoping to witness another appearance of the next Asura. A man is lying down in his bare room. While listening to news that the main gate to the Otherworld is about to open, hunters were advised to prepare themselves. The man looked lifeless with a bottle of pills beside him. Again, the news was repeated. But when the man heard that hunters are asked to prepare themselves, the man looked horrified. All of a sudden, he sat up. It was like he's a different person now. This man looked around to figure out where he was because he thought he'd die. His head hurt so much. Then he started seeing fragments of painful memories, like working a difficult job, being told that he's a trash, not being able to pay his brother's medical fees, complaining being a monster tamer in a poor family, and with all of these piling up, he decided to end his life by overdosing on pills. The confused man wondered whose memories are those. He never imagined that he would be reincarnated into the body of someone with the exact same name as him 100 years later. He recalled that the man was a monster tamer. The monster tamer class mainly relies on their pets to fight. Other than raising their own level, their pet's growth attribute can't fall behind either. Someone had once analyzed that in order to nurture a powerful monster tamer, one would need to be at least as wealthy as an entire nation. To an ordinary person, awakening as a monster tamer would indeed be bad news. Now he knew the story of the good-for-nothing young Zhang Yue who failed at life and took his own life. He looked at the picture on the wall. This reincarnated person was the opposite of that. He was once the strongest awakener in the whole Dragon Kingdom and was well known with the name Asura, since he had already taken over the body and had been revived once again. He decided to bear all the man's responsibilities and regrets, and conquer the other world where the weak are at the mercy of the strongest. It's his gesture of showing his gratitude. There was an announcement again that the main gate to the other world is about to open. The man stood before the gate, and he opened it. A bright ring of light appeared. It was the spatial gate. He entered it. The system greeted Asura, and reported that he had been offline for 36,552 days. He stood there while several window screens opened. He had received ability power points of 221,066 or $496,000. The system congratulated him on being the first to defeat a 9th rank monster wave. He had completed the mythic rank achievement in a class of his own. For that, he had obtained a reward which is a mythic rank treasure, Supreme Divine Decree. The Supreme Divine Decree will be activated automatically. He also obtained a permanent buff, which is a 10,000-fold increase in earning ability power in the other world, whilst both online and offline. The effect has been applied to him, and he has obtained an additional 99x offline rewards, which totals to 2,110,143,893 503,000 ability points. He was surprised to see quadrillions of ability power. It was a generous reward for clearing the highest-ranked monster wave in the world. The system notified him that he also had obtained a class reset. He was asked to choose from one of the 7 mythic rank core classes. The choices are Knight Undead Death Knight, Warrior, Dark Swordsman, Assassin, Shadow Reaper, Priest, Divine Priest, Mage, Hellfire Mage, Archer, Spectral Hunter, Monster Tamer, Necromancer. Asura awoke as an epic class warrior 100 years ago, but the strongest core class in the Otherworld during that time was actually the Monster Tamers. The only issue with that occupation is the astronomical amount of ability power needed for them to level up themselves and their pets, causing growth for that class to be immensely difficult. However, since he had been reincarnated and even have 1,000,000 years worth of offline ability power, his top choice is naturally the Necromancer. The system congratulated him on becoming the Otherworld's 4th mythic rank core hunter, Necromancer, Monster Tamer's advanced class. He received an initial 100-star rating. It was strong as expected of a mythic rank class. A Necromancer is a messenger revived from the underworld. A Necromancer has command over the strength of the dead. Only death is able to excite a Necromancer. A Necromancer has a magic attack growth, 25-star, mana growth 18-star, vitality growth 20-star, physical defense growth 18-star, and magic defense growth 19-star. It has skills like Harvest Souls, Spectre Evolution, and Death Reduction. An ordinary monster tamer pet's intellect is obtained through rare mission rewards, and it's impossible to improve their character. Asura didn't expect a Necromancer to not only evolve their pets, but also be able to harvest other monsters and make them their pets, as expected of a mythical rank class. In his previous life, he relied on an epic rank class to clear 70 worlds within merely 10 years and became the top ranker in China. Since he's starting out with a mythical rank class in that life, he decided to perfectly clear every last world and become the strongest not just in China, but the entire world. The sun rose. Asura entered a portal and was welcomed in the first world of the Otherworld, the source of nightmares. The safe zone he has been matched to by the system according to his log and location is Doomsday Village. He was asked if he will be continuing to use the ID Asura, or if not, he must confirm his new ID. He decided to change his ID to 0. He made it sure that in his new life, he's destined to surpass Asura's existence, and the only thing that surpasses all else is 0. He walked around the Otherworld. A woman was fascinated by how close it is to being in the real world. Another man was confused as well because they expected the Otherworld to be filled with monsters. A man replied that they are in the safe zone and the monsters are outside of that. They were notified that the first world's mission had been released. It was in the mission panel. People started preparing for it, like finding a party to join or the materials that they would need. The system window displayed details about the source of nightmares, First World. When darkness shrouded the earth, the monsters who were in a deep slumber underneath awake, and the world will eventually ruin into a calamity. As the sole survivor, the 0 must break the doomsday pattern, break the multiple calamities, and crush the darkness. The first mission is to kill a total of 1,000 monsters in the first world. Second, he must collect a total of 10 silver coins by killing monsters or carrying out missions. When he has completed the above missions, he can activate the first world's boss instant teleportation tunnel, defeat the boss, and advance to the second world. 0 noticed that the normal layout of the Otherworld didn't change much. He decided to buy some equipment first before doing the missions. He was welcomed in a shop. The equipment shop owner is Chelsea. He asked him what he needed. 0 also noticed that the system's equipment shop is also the same as before. It can only provide some basic crude items. Even the best equipment they have is only 1 star. Chelsea told 0 that if he isn't satisfied with those, he can provide a higher graded equipment for a few more copper coins. 0 dropped a bag filled with 100 copper coins, then he asked for a star magic staff. The other buyers around him were astonished. 0 received the staff. After that, people flocked to 0. They were all surprised with his move since they were only given a total of 100 copper coins and he had spent all of them. One person added that 1 star magic stuff can't add much attack power either. He was advised that instead of buying a single 1-star weapon, he would be better off buying a full set of crude items. 0 thanked them for their advice and walked away. A woman expressed her opinion that although only the weapons with a higher number of stars can be refined, the attack power would also be increased. The man replied that refining weapons require ability power, and they can only be obtained through missions to farm monsters with a low drop rate. He added that there isn't even enough of such valuable things to level up. Only a brain-dead person would do that. They continued to gossip while watching Zero walk away. He judged him to suffer later on, since he doesn't have money left and had no Zero defensive power. They all thought that it's impossible to do anything without money. To the normal newbie hunter, it is indeed not worth it to spend all money on a 1-star equipment. The ability power obtained by normal hunters from farming monsters is very limited, so it just wouldn't be possible for them to afford to refine 1-star equipment. Zero's weapon is called Raging Inferno Magic Staff with a 1-star. Its magic power is 5 and its level is 0. Zero is aware that he's lacking one thing, and that's the ability's power. When he spends 1 point of ability power on refining, he has a 10% chance of increasing his green attribute. The higher the attribute, the greater the cost of refinement, and the lower the chances of success. He was asked if he wanted to refine. He replied yes. He was prompted again, and he continuously replied to keep refining. His staff glowed as the refinement continued to be successful. He watched the notifications. And later on, he was informed that his equipment has already been upgraded to the highest tier. The system screen showed him that after 132 single-touch refinements with a total of 985 ability power points spent, he had obtained the gold attribute. Now his weapon is Scorching Pioneer Magic Staff. Refining 132 points showed the true power of having quadrillions of ability power points. His staff has the characteristic called Scorch, wherein every time the user attacks, it will inflict the enemy with a 3-second burn status. The enemy will lose 20 health per second. With that, Zeron's preparations are complete. It's time for him to put on a good show. At the first world, the origin of nightmares. It was the beginning of the nightmares of all the novice hunters. A hunter slashed a world with his sword, but it had no effect. The hunter was scared. It made him wonder, what is the rank of that fucking monster? It had so much health that it's impossible to deal any significant damage, yet 1 strike from it will kill them. Suddenly, a gold orb of light appeared. It was magic that eliminated that monster. The burn effect from Scorching Pioneer Magic Staff has been inflicted. Zero watched the corpse of the monster. The system informed him that he had defeated that mutated giant rat, which earned him 2 EXP and 1,000 points. 10,000-fold increase in ability points buff applied. Zero is a mythic hunter with maxed out base attribute buff, as well as max level equipment. Ordinary hunters need to team up to kill the mutated giant rat, yet I can kill one with a single shot. Other hunters noticed him. They were all curious about him since he dealt insane damage and he has all the good equipment. One woman wondered if he's an experienced hunter, but the guy refutes that. There's no way someone would have so many ability points to refine an early game newbie magic staff. They couldn't help but think of Zero as a big shot. Zero was thinking that since those level 1 monsters give him too little experience, he needed to kill monsters that are on a higher level than him to maximize his experience gain. In the first world, the origin of nightmares, other than low-ranked mutated giant rats, there's also level 3 to 4 poisonous spiders, level 5 to 7 armored scorpions, and level 8 to 9 frenzied wild boars. Lastly, the final boss of the first world, a level 10 berserk wild boar king. Now, his best option is to hunt the level 3 and above monsters at the abandoned factory. He was about to walk away, but he was blocked by those hunters. They wanted to recruit him in their party by enticing him that they have healer, tank, DPS. The women tempted him with their body too. But Zero was scared when he replied that he didn't need it, so they just backed off. They watched him walk away. Then they talked about his scary aura that's even worse than those monsters.